Hey guys, Hastings here and welcome to this week's episode of Show Some Class. As you can see on screen, I've taken it up a notch from what we've seen so far. I'm going in a much higher class. I'm using a beefed up S-Class Formula Ford against some R-Class opposition, and I figured we'd go around the Bernese Alps circuit. So, not much else to say, so I'll catch up with you on the grid. Okay guys, we're back on the grid, and as per usual, we are starting in last position, and as per usual I've left it in the wrong view going into the race. Using a nice open wheeler just because I really do like the way that the open wheelers drive in general on this game, and they handle very nicely with that going around the outside of some of these guys in the class above already. Crikey, I've seen a few Hennessy Venoms up there. Hope I don't get in a straight line drag race with any of those guys. We could be suffering slightly on the straight line speed front in this car. Maybe one of the reasons why I chose this track. There isn't any specific, oh my days, isn't any specifically long straights. There's places down here where you get into a pretty high speed, but it's not like a Yas Marina long straight type. Oh my god, he's braking early. Let's go around the outside of him as well. Not normally a fan of this track, but I figured I'd give it a go. And I have just noticed that I'm not running my usual paint job. I didn't really think of that when I loaded this up, but I'm going to forgive myself because this is a pretty nice paint job. Probably shouldn't have done that through the through the tunnel there. Oh my days, we've got Vipers charging up the inside of us as well. Okay, we're going to take the long route, very long route. Let's get back on track. And yes, I'm going to forgive myself for not using my paint job because I do like this one. And the single-seaters are notoriously hard to paint, and so my paint job doesn't really work. I have got a Mazda, the Mazda Andretti Autosport. I've got one of those with my paint job, but it just doesn't quite look the same. Okay, we seem to get past these cars through the corners relatively easily. Pretty much just flat out when they're braking it quite heavily in places. I'm quite glad that I'm not in one of those Hennessy Venoms around here, although he's just going to absolutely fly off in a straight line. It'll be interesting to see what happens if I get ahead of a Venom when we come into a straight line, because we've seen many times before that if AI is behind me in a straight line, they just won't go past because they don't deviate from their line. So you actually have to move out the way if they're going to go past, which I certainly wouldn't do if I had a Hennessy Venom right up my trumpet. We're one lap in and we're up to 10th, so we're already doing better than the Jaguar E-Type, but there does seem to be quite a bit of a gap forming in front of me, and there's not really anyone behind me as well, and this is far more oversteery than I anticipated. I have a feeling it's the first time I've driven this car. I remember messing around with lots of Mazdas and single-seat Formula Fords and the Formula E and all those relatively recently, but I think I ended up building a few of each and not actually sort of driving them or trying them out, just thinking, oh, that works S-Class, that'll do. So yes, this is sort of the first test for this car, but it does seem to be doing fairly well considering the opposition, especially around the corners against the likes of the Hennessy Venom, where I have generally all of the grip and the Venom has generally none of the grip. Crikey, he was getting some big airtime through there. Same thing was happening with the Lotus 11. Oh my god, we've been taken out by Venom. That wasn't very nice. That was not very nice. I think that's the first big incident. I got quite lucky that I bounced off the barrier, so it wasn't too much. It wasn't too costly. But I think that's the first big incident that we've kind of had in a race with the AI in this series. Okay, I was trying to move over to block him going down the straight, but it doesn't seem to work. Get out of the way, I'm trying to... Okay, this is far more oversteery than I really thought it would be. I'm starting to regret taking the wing off. That might have to feature. Although I do really like the way this car looks without its wings. Sort of an old school Formula Ford as opposed to the newer ones. I'd be very interested to see in the next Ford, the Ford 6, if there is sort of some more proper categories of open wheelers. Because in this game we've got the odd Formula 1 car and some classic ones, but then apart from the Formula E, the we've only got the Formula Ford and the Mazda Andretti Autosport, and I'm not actually sure which. Oh, my bad. I'm not actually sure which series that the Mazda runs in. But I'd be interested to see if there was more of a general distinction of cars that we're going to get. We might get a GP2 car and a GP3 car and a Formula 2000 car, as well as the Formula Ford, rather than having one Formula 1 car and then having all the others sort of named by what they are, as opposed to what series you're running. Although saying that the Formula 1 car we've got isn't just called Formula 1 car, is it? It's the Lotus E21 from the 2013 season. I wonder if what Formula 1 car we will get in Forza 6 if we get another one. I would have thought it would be one from the 2015 season, as in this season, because the game has only relatively recently been announced, so it probably won't be out till like next year. I presume we'll end up with maybe the Ferrari, probably maybe a Mercedes. I'd be quite surprised if we got the Lotus again, but obviously we'll have to wait and see. I'm very much looking forward to the continuously delayed Project Cars as well. Although I fear that that may end up getting delayed so much that it comes out after Forza 6. But the only slight thing that I'm disappointed about with Project Cars, aside from the constant delays, is the fact that it hasn't got the official series for the open wheelers. It'd be just slightly more awesome if it had the official Formula 1 and the official GP2s. But I guess there's some serious licensing issues there. Well, I think it's EA. No, it's not. Is it EA? It used to be EA. I think it's Codemasters that now have the Formula 1 rights. Although I haven't played a Formula 1 game in a while, because I got my Xbox One before the 2014 game came out. So I wasn't going to buy that for my 360 and I never play it anymore, so I don't see the point of that. Although I am very much looking forward to the next one, because I've actually had every single Formula 1 game since 1996, I believe, which coincidentally was the year I was born. Yay me! Yeah, my dad was a relatively keen gamer when I was younger. I remember playing the PlayStation 1 with him for days on end, and mainly just the Formula 1 games, actually. So I've had a fair share of Formula 1 games. I can remember agony and pain after 2006 through to 2010 when EA dropped the licensing and stopped making the games, and before Codemasters picked it up for 2010. I remember there was a 2009 edition that only came out on PSP or something, and I didn't have one, and I was absolutely gutted. I had to wait an extra year to get a game. But that was quite interesting. Yeah, so this has turned into a random let's drive around the Bernese Alps and talk about Formula 1 games. I hope it's been relatively entertaining. I've slightly got the Hennessy to have a small battle with, but it hasn't been the most interesting race. I've not been driving particularly well. I have said a few times before, I think I don't really like this circuit, but I thought I'd give it a go. I thought it might suit the Formula Ford and give it the best chance against the race cars in the class above. But it appears that the likes of the GT3 cars are just too quick in the hands of some of the AI, anyway, because we have got nearly half the pack behind us. And I am very disappointed with the amount of oversteer that this car's got. I think that's the third time I've said it. But it is really disappointing. But you do not expect a single-seater, a mid-engine single-seater, to have oversteer on this game. Generally, they're underpowered, and they make up all their time through having really good handling. They can absolutely fly through the corners. As much as this does handle pretty well, it's not the best handling through the corners. It's not. Oh my days! Wow. Okay, I've buggered that well and truly up. That was completely my fault, and I'm stuck on the wall. Come on. No. I'm invisible. I don't know why the Ferrari stopped when I got back on track, but okay. That was absolutely ridiculous. I was trying to emphasise the fact that you can't just commit to a corner and just let it roll through. But it kind of went badly and I ended up on the wall. That's not a sentence I was expecting to say. So this Formula Ford, even with that crash, came home in 10th position which puts it second to last on our table. But it was quite fun, so I don't particularly mind. I hope that you don't either. I'll see you for the next one. Hastings out. Goodbye.